Imagine spending $500 million on a building, watching it get completed on schedule, and then realizing the entire structure is slowly sinking into the ground. No earthquake, no storm, no act of God, just a decision someone made in a boardroom to skip a soil test and save a few $1,000s. That is not a hypothetical. That has happened multiple times across the world, and it is still happening in 2026. The construction industry is one of the most complex and unforgiving industries on Earth, and the margin for error is razor thin. One wrong call, one skipped inspection, one substitute material, and you are looking at lawsuits, collapsed structures, and losses that run into the hundreds of millions. I am going to walk you through 10 of the most costly construction mistakes in the world, backed by real cases, real numbers, and real consequences. Stay with me until mistake number 10, because that one is quietly happening on projects near you right now. If you work in construction, real estate, or engineering, or you just love seeing how billion-dollar decisions go wrong, subscribe right now and hit the bell so you never miss a video. We break down the construction industry every single week with no sugarcoating. Mistake 1, skipping the geotechnical survey. Developers skip soil tests to save money up front, and it is one of the most expensive gambles in construction. The Millennium Tower in San Francisco is the most documented example in the world. The luxury skyscraper has sunk over 20 inches and tilted more than 3 feet since completion. The repair bill crossed $100 million. Legal battles are ongoing as of 2026, and residents are still fighting for answers. A proper geotechnical survey would have cost a fraction of that. The ground beneath the structure tells you everything, and ignoring it tells you nothing until it is too late. Mistake 2, poor design coordination between teams. Architects, structural engineers, and MEP consultants are often working on separate software, on separate timelines, with separate priorities. When their work collides on site, the result is expensive clashes, rework, and delays. Industry data as of 2026 shows that design coordination failures account for nearly 40% of major construction defects globally. The Ronan Point collapse in London is a classic case, where a structural design that relied on each floor panel supporting the next caused an entire corner of a 22-story building to fall after a single gas explosion. Poor coordination does not just waste money. It costs lives. Mistake 3, material substitution fraud. This is one of the most dangerous and underreported problems in the global construction industry. Contractors, under financial pressure, swap specified materials for cheaper alternatives without informing the engineer or project owner. In Australia, the combustible cladding crisis saw thousands of residential buildings clad in flammable aluminum composite panels instead of fire-rated materials. National remediation costs have exceeded $6 billion as of 2026. Residents were living in buildings that could have become infernos. Some were. Material fraud is not just a budget problem. It is a public safety emergency. Mistake 4, ignoring structural warnings. Warning signs in construction are rarely subtle. Cracks appear. Settlements are recorded. Inspection reports flag concerns. But when budgets are tight and timelines are aggressive, warnings get filed away and decisions get deferred. The Champlain Towers collapse in Surfside, Florida killed 98 people and cost over $997 million in settlements. Post-collapse investigations revealed that structural deterioration had been documented years before the building came down. Nobody acted with urgency. Ignoring a structural warning is not just negligence. It is a choice with consequences that can never be undone. Mistake 5, inadequate waterproofing. Water is a silent destroyer of structures. It gets into concrete, corrodes rebar, weakens foundations, and compromises entire building envelopes before anyone notices anything on the surface. Waterproofing failures are among the most common and most expensive defects in construction globally. Remediation after the fact often costs 3 to 5 times more than getting it right during construction. In 2026, water infiltration remains one of the top 3 causes of post-construction litigation worldwide. The tragedy is that proper waterproofing is not complicated. It just requires attention, the right materials, and a team that does not cut corners when no one is watching. Mistake 6, poor concrete quality control. Concrete is the backbone of modern construction, and compromised concrete is a ticking clock. When water-to-cement ratios are wrong, when curing is rushed, or when batching is inconsistent, the result is concrete that looks fine on the surface but fails under load over time. In 2026, substandard concrete remains a widespread problem in fast-growing construction markets across Africa, Southeast Asia, and parts of South America. Buildings constructed with compromised concrete often show catastrophic failure within 10 to 20 years. Fixing it means tearing out and replacing structural elements, which can cost as much as rebuilding from scratch. Mistake 7. Skipping or rushing inspections. Inspections exist for one reason: to catch mistakes before they become disasters. When projects fall behind schedule, inspections are the first thing to get rushed or bypassed entirely. Concrete gets poured before formwork is checked. Steel connections get covered before they are verified. Electrical systems get commissioned before they are tested properly. Each skipped inspection is a gamble, and the house always wins eventually. In the United States alone, construction defect litigation costs the industry over $15 billion annually as of 2026, and a significant portion of those cases trace back to inspections that were inadequate or never happened. Mistake 8. Underestimating project costs. Deliberately or not, underestimating construction costs is one of the most damaging practices in the industry. Developers approve projects based on optimistic budgets. Contractors win bids they cannot deliver at the quoted price, and the gap gets filled with compromises, substitutions, and shortcuts. The City Opera House was originally budgeted at $7 million and ended up costing $102 million. While that project delivered an architectural icon, most projects dealing with that level of cost overrun do not deliver anything iconic. They deliver disputes, incomplete structures, and financial ruin for everyone involved. Mistake 9. Poor site safety management. Beyond the human cost, construction site accidents are financially catastrophic. OSHA data and global safety reports in 2026 consistently show that construction accounts for a disproportionate share of workplace fatalities and injuries worldwide. A single fatal accident on a job site can trigger investigations, work stoppages, legal liability, insurance claims, and reputational damage that outlast the project itself. Safety is not a cost. It is an investment, and the return on that investment is measured in lives protected and projects that actually get finished. Mistake 10. Refusing to adopt construction technology. This is a mistake happening right now on active projects around the world. In 2026, the tools to prevent almost every mistake on this list already exist. Building information modeling catches design clashes before anyone picks up a shovel. AI-powered project management platforms predict cost overruns weeks in advance. Drone inspections cover ground that human inspectors miss. Real-time structural sensors detect movement and stress before failure occurs. And yet a massive portion of the global construction industry is still running on outdated processes, paper drawings, and gut instinct. The McKinsey Global Institute estimates that construction is one of the least digitized industries on Earth, costing the global economy over $1.6 trillion annually in waste and rework. The technology is there. The barrier is pride and resistance to change, and it is the most expensive attitude in the business. Every single mistake on this list shares one thing in common. Someone made a decision to save time, cut cost, or avoid a difficult conversation, and someone else paid the price. Construction failures are almost never accidents. They are the result of accumulated choices made under pressure by people who believed the risk was someone else's problem. The most expensive thing in construction is not premium materials or skilled labor. It is a decision to cut corners and hope no one notices. Share this video with anyone working in the industry who needs a reminder of what is actually at stake. Drop in the comments which mistake you have seen on a real project, and if this video added value to your day. The subscribe button is right there. See you next week.